Welcome everybody. This is Yimbo Buys Everything. I'm Yimbo. Hello. Some housekeeping stuff. Let me get into housekeeping right away. All right. So number one, I did put episode 5 on YouTube. This is episode 7. So hello. So I'm still like a week or two behind. But 5 is up. I'll get that ready for the podcast services tonight. 6 is almost done. It was exporting before the show. So I'm trying to get a little timelier with it, but who cares about that stuff, right? You're here now, you're live, so thank you all for joining me so much. There's Paul, there's Josh. What's going on, guys? How are you? As I always tell you, I want to get right to the toys. So right before, in the little, like, when you come in, the little hangout spot, I showed off a GameStop Stormtrooper that I really liked. This was a buy that at a local toy hunt from the local GameStop a couple weeks ago with my brother-in-law. So we checked that out. That was like at the last second. I went, you know what? I've always wanted that one. I'm gonna get him. But that was like the pre, and then you know Skelly God. I got to talk about him just a little bit in the pro. So it's nice to come and hang out for a couple minutes before the show starts. But I want to just jump in to. Oh, there he is. Okay, so I'm super pumped. I bought this guy. He arrived over a month ago, for sure. No, for sure, it was over a month ago. I joined the wait list for him, so if this is giving you an idea of what I will be discussing, and if you've seen my post today, then you actually already know. But I joined the wait list. I've crossed my fingers. I've said it before on the show. My two definitive versions of the characters of Batman and Superman for me are the movie versions. Like those are the guys. At the end of the day, if you ask me, it's Michael Keaton is my Batman, and Chris Reeves is my Superman. Chris Reeve, I should say. So I know I'm still kind of new. I am still new to Mezco. This is just my third one now. It was really hard keeping him in the basement in the box because I only opened the outside shipping container. Maybe I think I opened this internal one too, just to make sure that the canister was there. So let me just show you what this is so neat. And I know that I'm late to the party. Like, you guys have seen this all before, but it is, like, you know, you're coming to me to hear about the impressions, right? Like, the can is just insane. The can is just super goofy. I'm keeping this, obviously. Like, this is a hand-me-down for my kids. I don't want to, like, destroy this too much, but this is, like, a really cool piece to have out. So we came with that. This is the other amazing piece to this, which is the Fortress of Solitude with the light up feature. So here, let me give you the whole little like rundown. So this is the first time I actually, out of my 3 Mezcos, I used the Mezco bag, but that's because all right, so let me hit you with it. So the reason I sat on the Reeves figure for so long is because he is Mezco. It is a premium figure, and I can't just go willy-nilly buying these and opening them up. So I bought it, and I specifically told myself I have to sell a lot of my older stuff before I did it. So I went on a really good run. Like, you know, it's fortunate. Like, I'm trying to do my eBay tricks to, you know, like offer a few dollars less and all that stuff. But I sold a bunch of stuff, so I felt justified in being able to open this up. So, again, and this is just me at the moment, guys, so I do apologize. Oh, this is actually reminding me. All right. Something I just noticed this weekend when I was watching Toy Talk on Friday is that when I go live, obviously the comments are all right here, so I'm trying my best to like keep up. But if you tag me in a comment, it will show up in my notifications, just like if any of you guys talking to each other while I'm rambling, tag each other, it shows up in your mention. So if there's something that you want me to address after the show, just do that. Just comment, and it'll be in my notifications, and I'll be able to get back to you with a DM or a comment or whatever. So just throwing that out there. So sorry for the aside. Okay, so first I'll do the head sculpts. He came with the 3, so this was the one I used for my shot. Again, I'm sorry, it's a little blurry there, but that's the smiley guy. Then he's got like a little in-between smirk or annoyed. I'm assuming I'll be able to, like, you know, use him out as I need, but it's like a little in-between one. A lot of people didn't know that one was announced. And then he's got his, you know, like the classic super angry face there. Yeah. So this is, I can't stress this enough. Well, like, if you follow me and you're here, so you do, so thank you again. This is going to be my Superman, like, for a while. I think I'm just going to, like, this is going to be whenever I need a Superman for a picture, it's going to be this one. I know Darth McSwain's been doing it, and it's the coolest thing ever. I really love seeing this version of Superman. We never got to see him really go nuts with CGI, and like, you know, they did the best they could at the time, and it was incredible. And you will believe a man can fly, like I did when I was little. I believed a man could fly. It was amazing. But yeah, so it's gonna be neat to kind of already post him into cool matchups, stuff that we're never gonna get to see in a movie. Here's some of the other stuff there, the little Fortress of Solitude crystals, and now this is awesome. The light up feature. It has an on, off, or this middle mode, and the middle mode is for when you drop in the crystal, it lights up. It's so neat. So here, I'll try to give you as best as I can a little view of it. So in here, there it is. There's the crystal, bloop, 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 and then you just drop that in. There's a little magnet. Yeah, that thing's neat. I know Josh. So Cox Create, Josh, my man over there. He and 88 Figs, and I know they're not the only one. They're the two most vocal recently. That you know, we've been doing this now for a while, and they have, like, I know I have a crazy collection, but like they have ridiculous collections, and they're starting to move some of their stuff into like more premium. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of where I want to move to. So I might stop just buying like the random Marvel Legends, like the Hood. You know, somebody that shot really cool, I think. I mean, but like I took a great picture of him. In my eyes. And now I don't know too much about him, so I think I'm going to start trimming down on those type of purchases, and this way I can mentally, you know, reach out to those, you know, Mafex Reveltech, because I pre-ordered that Deadpool, the version 2. I don't know if anybody else is coming up with that guy, but future spoiler, future show alert for next fall. Okay, I'll run through the rest of these really quick because I do want to get to my guest. So this is awesome. This is that kryptonite necklace that Lex Luthor put on him. He's got a ton of different hands, you know, like the flying and the waving. So I already want to do the salute wave with the smile. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. It's all the Superman. I want to hit all the classic iconography. Is that the word? So that's it. Any questions for me? Let me just take a look. All right. So Manny, thank you, buddy. And Rabbit's Den, thank you always for coming in here. Green Geek, everybody, hello. Yeah, just running through. All right. So I'm going to bring in, Mike, if you are in here, my brother-in-law Mike is going to be joining me. And this is actually a good segue, because I wanted to just ask him. I got to hang out with him this weekend, and he got to hold on to this. So let me see. Is he in here or... request. There it is. Dude. So he'll be joining us in a second. And I just want to ask him, like I said, you know, this is, he always comes with a non-collector. There he is, the non-collector mentality. Can I hear you?
Yimbo!
There. So Mike, this is why this is the perfect segue. I wanted to start with the Reeve Superman, because again, you are somebody that is...
Thank you. Thank you.
You are a person, first of all, but you are... What was I trying to say? So you're into the collectible world. You have an understanding, but you're not living and breathing it like I am every day. So
sure. Yeah.
Now that you got to play with, you know, like handle him and everything, does this feel like, to you, someone who does not know, you know, like the difference between them? Can you feel a difference between this and a Marvel Legends? Because you've handled like most of my toys now.
Yeah, well, you know, just coming from a layman's perspective, the one thing that stands out to me the most when you show me some of these types of figures is the textures. I'm a big texture guy.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that's not just plain plastic I always think is really cool. So I love the knitted feel to his suit.
Yeah.
The cape's really cool, and you know, some other figures will have, like, I mean, I think I showed this on one of your shows before, because I don't have very many figures, but
right.
Like this Batman's got a really cool rubberized cape. I know this is a cheaper figure, but
right. No,
I really can tell the value of, you know, I've started to learn the value of some of these things through you.
Yeah.
And watching your shows and things like that.
You.
So I think that's one of the things that stands out to me, is some of those details, that the textures and the different types of materials that they use in the figures.
Yeah.
I always think is pretty neat.
And I should have actually, I mean, like, we're going to see each other a lot this summer, so I'm not too worried about it. The suit is actually different than the Black Panther suit that, like, when you actually feel, so they do even have on their own, like, latexy fabric looking suits, like, there's different versions of it. Again, I'm going on just like impressions. I'm sure people are in the know, like Ice Ryan. I don't know if he's here tonight, but like he has a huge collection. Darth McSwain, like they could tell me specifically how they're different. But good, at least you can tell because they are more expensive, so that's a good thing. All right.
It'd be bad if I came on the show and said, "Nah, I don't really notice a difference. They
Yeah.
seem the same as the $10 ones."
Yeah, like I mean,
They're
it felt the
gorgeous.
same as this.
Well, and obviously the accessories. I mean, the different hands and the heads. I mean, it's you could tell that these are designed for a collector and not for my 5-year-old son to play with.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you can't go giving these little pieces out. I think they actually even say like the Mezcos might be 18 and up. They might be like just straight up. No, this is for an adult. They get to be an adult. All right, so this is going to now transition into what we did this weekend because I dragged you on 2 different toy hunts, my friends. So on Saturday, so I'll just I'll preface it with like our in-laws live in Highlands, New Jersey, so that's like Middletown. The reason I go to Middletown is that's usually the one where if you know Kevin Smith and any of those movies, if you know Kevin Smith, like this, then you'll know Middletown in that central New Jersey area. So we wanted to go to the Secret Stash. I had been itching for a premium figure, and I just had cracked open the Reeves this week. And
Well, for the people who don't know, Secret Stash around here is a big deal, right? I mean, it's the Kevin Smith original store. I mean, I think they just moved, right? We saw that they just recently moved. But yeah, if you're not from this part of the country, Kevin Smith from Jay and Silent Bob, this is it's a well-known spot in Red Bank, New Jersey. So we got all hyped up. We get in the car, we get permission, let the wives watch the kids, and off we go.
And it's like a 15-minute drive from our mother-in-law's house, so it was like super easy. And we get there, parking was easy, which in Red Bank, like I'm sure you guys have towns like that near you, but are impossible to find. So everything was working out. So we walk up and I try to open the door and Mike's like, "No, dude, this is not the storefront." I'm like, "This is the storefront." And I step back and I'm like, "Oh, they closed." And I'm like, "Oh no, did we lose Jay and Silent Bob to the pandemic?" Like, right? Like, I didn't know. I thought, thanks to Rabbit, like he's saying, Ming, right? Like A&D, like that show, the Comic Book Man, that actually did spread their notoriety outside of New Jersey. You know what I mean? Like, so
and Clerks, of course, and stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah, so it turns out they didn't close. It was literally just like 4 or 5. It was right across the street. So we go down there. There's this line of people outside. So I'm like, okay, maybe some comic book stores still have like are taking COVID protocols very seriously. Which again, that's fine if they want to do that. So they I just assumed maybe it was that like they're letting only in a few people at a time. No. I start hearing some chatter of like signings and stuff. So I just go up to the front. Mike's standing next to me and I was just like, "Hey man, what's going on today?" And he goes, "Oh dude, it's Jay's birthday." I'm like, "Oh." I looked on
Happy birthday, Jay. We want to buy some stuff.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I looked on all of their main socials. Nothing. They have 2 different Secret Stash websites. Like they have a Jay and Silent Bob only. They have the Secret Stash. Nothing. So I'm just a little annoyed from a consumer standpoint that we wasted that time because I would have just picked a different spot. So that was a bummer. So happy birthday, Jay. Kevin Smith turned out was there. So if you look up Secret Stash on Instagram, you'll see if you look at the recent pictures, you'll see him at his store. It was close to guys like us.
Just wanted to spend money. Parking.
Yeah, it costs us $1, and we had more time to hang out. So it was not the end of the world. But it was really frustrating because that store, like I know, has these premium, the Mafex, the Mezcos. I know they had those in mind. So again, strike out. I look up real quick. There's another local comic book store. So we go there, look at the stuff. It's fine. It's like the exact style of comic book store that, we're all used to. So nothing crazy, just, so I 0 figures that day. So I go home, I'm a little grumpy, but Mike and I, we bounce back, we just socialize, we have fun.
A little grumpy. You were in a mood.
I was in a mood, man. I had that brain, I kept describing it. I had a brain itch that it was like owning premium figure, and I couldn't get past it. So we strike out. I will throw that. I don't know if he's here right now, but C Mazart, that's another great account. I'm not sure of the name of the style of figure, but Mike, you described them as like articulated Funkos, right? Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I forget the name of it.
We saw a Deadpool of it in there in that last toy shop. Right?
Yeah. So for anybody that again you want to check out some really cool and even just again different, because he's one of the only people that I see consistently using this style figure. But it was that Deadpool, that Funko. It has all of the maximum articulation, all of the different accessories. I just forget the name of the line, but I almost bought it, but that's C Mazart's thing, so I passed. Okay, so then it takes us to yesterday. See, I told you I have my notes and everything. All right. I wanted to go to the second Zap Comics location, but it turns out I was wrong. It was 40 minutes away, so it was too far for the dads to get away, traveling wise. So my wife was awesome. She goes, look, there's a GameStop. Just go to the GameStop. And I was like, they're not going to have what I want. But again, my wife is being wonderful and supportive. So I'm just being a butthead. I'm just like, it's fine. It'll be fine. Thank you. What a jerk. Then my sister-in-law, your wife, says, oh, you should bring Mikey, or my nephew, your son. And so now it turned into like a boys trip. So we're having fun. And we go, and dude, it was a GameStop, right? It's like every other GameStop that you walk into.
And a fairly small one. Some of them you're tripping over things when you walk in, right? They got displays everywhere and a lot of not just the games, the shirts, the toys, the knickknacks, the plushies. This one was a little bare. I walked in and I'm like, oh boy, Yimbo's going to be upset.
Now this is so funny because this is now the difference between like where I'm actively collecting and Mike is just, like a dude that enjoys seeing everything, right? So he walks in and is like, man, there should be more stuff. I look in and I had already decided, I'm like, if I'm not getting a premium figure, anything that I see, I'm just going to buy. So there was a Conor McGregor, which I guess is a good thing I didn't buy him. So I saw him. I was like,
I think we compared it to anybody else out there that's a baseball player. What do we say? Like, you ever get up there at bat and you're like, I'm swinging at the next pitch. Like, unless it hits me in the forehead, I'm swinging at it. That was you that day. You're like, whatever I see, I'm buying it, man.
Oh, yeah. So I think actually the first thing I saw was the Mortal Kombat McFarlane Sub-Zero, but he's purple. And Mike, you were like, no, I'm not. There's no purple. And I'm like, I don't care. It's Sub-Zero. I'm going to get him. So I grabbed him, and then it was, what's his name? Noob Saibot. Noob Saibot, and it was the bloody variant. So then I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I had 3 figures immediately. And that was just from the first toy rack. But anyway, I spend a half hour. I know I lose track of time. I'm sure I was looking at this stuff 6 more times than you and Mikey did. And that's
a half hour. That was the first quarter.
All right. Well, shush. All right. So one of the big things that I finally bought, now he's out of the package. So I'm going to show you. But I finally cracked and got one of the Plasma Series guys. I know I had said I wasn't going to get the set, and I stand by that. But my son's name is Ray, and he was $16 on clearance. So come on, he's the heart of the Ghostbusters, the heart and soul of the Ghostbusters. And
the coolest part is the goggles. The goggles makes the figure.
Oh my God, yeah! Like the fact that it will pull up and off. Well, there we go. There he is. Hey. God, I was trying to think of an Aykroyd joke. It's been too long. I have to watch another Aykroyd movie.
I said this, I think, on one of your other shows, Jimmy. Ray Stantz gets a lot of heat, right? He gets a lot of put a lot of extra poundage on him, right? The original figures, the cartoon series, and Dan Aykroyd wasn't a heavy guy.
He was a normal dude.
This is normal dad bod Ray Stantz. Normal.
Yeah, like if Ray Stantz is chubby in Ghostbusters, then I have no hope. Okay, come on. But look at the detail on that. I don't know if this notebook's helping at all, but I'm trying to show you. I know you got to see him a little bit, but man, he's neat. He's very cool.
Now you're bringing back memories of that little place we went over the weekend. They had I'll just tell the story. I wish I had, now I wish I bought it so I could show it, but the $50
Yeah,
full size
the
proton
proton
pack.
pack.
So
I know.
cool.
I tried. It was $50. I actually thought it was like retail or close to it, and I was like, Mike, that'd be really awesome. But he made a good point. Like, what is he going to do with it? I mean, it would be for him. It'd be for Mikey. But then you wouldn't want to open it. But then you would want. It turns into this is the collector mentality. This is what happens.
Right.
The back and forth. Green Geek. I'm super impressed with the plasma series, dude. I regret not finding because I already told Mike. So Mike has his first toy hunting job for me, and it's to find Egon because I know Egon is impossible to find, and I'm just kicking myself because this whole wave has been here. What feels like 2 years because of the pandemic. Like these have been in the stores forever, and I used to see them all the time.
Show them what you can build if you get the whole wave. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. Tuscan Traders made that one. The dog, the demon dog.
Vince Clortho.
Yep. It's
So
very cool. It's very cool. Yeah, Ryan Tuscan's got an awesome shelf. All right. This one's a quick one. I'm just going to show off. It's again like this GameStop trip. So I got the Armorer. Like I'm leaning heavily into like if I'm gonna get Black Series, it's probably gonna be a bad. There you go, nice.
Yeah, came prepared.
Yeah, the Terror Dog Rabbit. But yeah, so if I am going Black Series, it's typically Mandalorians or Bad Batch or like the Clone Wars stuff, like just like whatever recently. I have my original heroes, my main figures of them. So now I got to start working on the Empire.
Is the Armorer staying in the box, or is she coming out?
So for now, I literally have a tub of Black Series figures that I've been slowly accruing. I just haven't been. It's not inspired, but I guess it is technically considered inspiration, right? I have not been inspired to go buy or to shoot Star Wars figures. Bad Batch, I haven't gotten super into it, but I don't have all of that Clone Wars love because I never watched the whole show. So I'm trying to plow through. I try to keep it on, but I don't know. Mandalorian, I'm excited for Book of Boba. Like those shows are killing it. That's like kind of where my fandom Star Wars is leaning toward right now. So she'll stay in the box until I think of a big Mandalorian shot, you know?
Cool.
All right. And now here we go. So this is the big one. Now, Mike, I'm gonna show just a little bit of it because I'll explain in a second. All right, so this is the final moment. We're at GameStop. Mike is paying, and I just happened to look up. If you'll know, they always have one of the like displays, like at least one. So the glass display, so the plexiglass, whatever. And I don't know. I'm looking at all the legends, all the stuff for the 10th time, and then I finally look up, and I see Doctor Strange, SH Figure Arts. Get out of town. Mike, can you just tell everybody? How would you describe, because I never asked you, like, how would you describe my reaction in that moment?
Visceral. It was, I mean, it was like a little kid. Like you walked in and they had exactly what you wanted. It was cool. It's a neat figure too. I mean, as a layman, I'll just harp on it again. I love the cape. I love the texture of it. You got the wiring in it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And all the different hands. And what did it come with? Like 8 sets of hands? Really cool.
Right. So now the reason I'm not gonna harp too much on this guy right now, Mike, is number one, you got to see me sitting and tooling with him for a lot of hours over the last 24 hours. So I'm all right. So I think it's Tuesday. I think we decided Tuesday. This is still kind of an unofficial announcement, but Toy Father and I are gonna do a little live stream, a short one, and we're gonna be focusing on figure arts because he also is getting a bunch of them. So this is my first, and I did have another one ordered. My only complaint, and I knew this going in, was the size. So let's just show the, because this is something that I feel like had I known, it wouldn't have stopped me. Let me just put that out there. It would not have stopped me from buying it. But this could help one of you out there that hasn't seen a direct comparison maybe. So look, there's Bucky and Doctor Strange. So you can kind of see the disparity, right? The size, Mike, is that?
I mean, it's negligible. I mean, it looks like he's a hair shorter than him. That's about it.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
I'm thinking like that's number one. That's why I went Doctor Strange. That made it an easy choice because I feel like I can kind of scale him with
If you had
anybody.
a really
He's not.
small, if you had an Iron Man that was a little smaller than an average man next to him, it might
Yeah.
be my. But I think Doctor Strange, you don't think of a big hulking, character. So I don't
Speaking of
notice
the
a difference.
speaking of the Hulk, transition segue. That's the other SH figure. I got a Hulk coming. This was one that I had ordered even before. Again, Mike, my brain itch was not the buying of the figure because I could do that online at any time. It was the walking out of a store, holding, not waiting the 2 to 14 days for your delivery. It was.
Well, and you got to work with him last night. You took a lot of. I won't spoil
No.
anything. But yeah, a lot of cool things coming. I think so. Very very neat.
Yeah, Planet Nostalgia saying it's all about the shot angles. Yeah, he's not too short. Like that's actually like when I really did it's like normal size. It's not like he's down here.
Yeah, it
It's
looks like
just
when I stand next to you, I'm like 3 inches shorter.
right,
No big
right. So that's going to be awesome. And now this was news breaking. So this is me breaking news, but you guys already might know this, so fair enough. But this was news to me. Maybe that's what I'll call it. News to me. um, the employee at GameStop, said that their whole business mentality is shifting, their whole business practices, and they are trying to cater to us, the premium collector. So you're going to start seeing this Avengers line of SH Figure Arts. Cox Create, Josh, I already know he got picked up the Iron Man. They're rolling out, and the GameStop website has them. I almost bought. They have the Captain America face off. Like Mike, remember in Endgame when the time travel where he fights himself? America's Ghoulie, America's butt.
Uh-huh.
They
Sure.
have a figure based on that scene that you can buy two of him and have them fight, and it has specific like Loki's staff and stuff like that. That's on sale for 77. So that's actually there you go, people. So if you're
77 for two, and that comes with two figures.
no, it's just the one. They
Ah.
want you to buy two. They saying they gave you accessories where you can make it look like two guys. They're not giving out two figures. Come on. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go into all the big stuff with Chris, with the Toy Father. Like I said, I believe it's gonna be Tuesday. I joked with him that we can call our segment Toy Daddies as like a play on because we're both fathers of the fair. All right, that's just me. All right. My final figure, Mike, as we wrap up. I knew this was going to be a half-hour show, but that's okay because we had a lot of stuff going on this weekend.
Yeah, we did.
Right before I left to hit the road with my wife and kids to go hang out with Mike, this came from Walmart. And Mike, I figured I'd tack this on at the end because you did get to see him. I know you don't know the character at all.
I don't, and that's another thing about, yeah, I'm a little light on DC, but again, just being who I am, right, kind of layman here. I think it's a really cool figure. I mean, you said you were worried about it being too big. I think it's great. I mean, it's a total big bad kind of scenario, right? He'd make a great villain for for a lot of your shots, and you got a really cool one with him. That if anybody's if anybody's seen it over the last couple of 2 days, that was a really neat shot that you spent a lot of time setting up. So that was
yeah.
I don't know if I paid for him, but I think it's cool.
Well, this is all right. So this is what's going to be cool about him. I need some DC bad guys. So number one, and now I've explained to you at this point that he's Darkseid's lieutenant, and so he's the initial guy that goes to conquer the worlds. But here I am screwing with him. So here's when you pick him up. This is all you get. You get the axe, and then you get this big hunk of plastic.
I think we called him a DC version of Ronin, right? Is that the best we came up with?
Exactly. That's a very good, apt analogy. So he's got these spikes can bend, but they are spiky, man. Like they don't mess around. Like this is very rough. This is a rough figure. This is legitimately it's an uncomfortable figure to hold.
I thought of chainmail when I saw it.
Yeah. In the movie, Mike, it actually. All of these little things can move, like blop, 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 like all of those little pieces
they're like scales.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So my arm, I will say this arm, it will stay, but you see the drop there. So I was a little annoyed by that. Not the end of the world, just giving you a heads up. Um, I've told Dark Collectible Toys this, my man Phil. So this is something I learned. So something like there, if I take a little dropper, oh no, we're losing Mike. That's okay. I'm gonna keep going. If I take a little dropper and put Pledge floor polish into there, it hardens. It adds another layer. So Mike, you cut out for a second. Were you still listening to me or no?
No, I could hear you fine. Your camera was spinning, but no, I've been here the whole time, brother.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah. So if I drop
Use Pledge.
so if I just get a little dropper, just one drop, bloop, it hardens and thickens, and it adds a layer, and then makes, so that's like a figure repair. So there you go. There's a Yimbo figure repair tip for you. It tightens up the joints.
Now, why Pledge? What made you think to try Pledge? I guess?
That was just from a recommendation. I was watching a YouTube like video repair. I think when I broke Hella's arm off, and I was looking at how people fix them, and they're insane. Like one guy was drilling in, and it was just not worth it to me. That was just me. But that was one of the things talked about with like loose joints, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, and I bought a thing. I haven't used it yet, but yeah. So I might try that. But otherwise, I am very excited. He is a ugly, gorgeous figure, if that makes any sense. Like he's haunting. He is something.
Yeah, the shot of him with the fire in the background, really cool.
Yeah.
The little flames and the idol behind him.
Well, that's what I wanted to tell everybody. Yeah. So Mike, like our mother-in-law has a very like just eclectic taste, just stylistically, and she gets all these really cool tchotchke things everywhere. And this was like this awesome metal circular
it was like
display
this big
thing. Yeah.
Carved like I don't know what it was, but it worked for Steppenwolf.
Well, actually, so Mike, this is what I was going to ask you now. So helping with the setup. So, like you've been hearing me and now joining me to talk about toys, but I've been getting to see what I do now that we've been hanging out so much. So what are you thinking of this hobby of mine?
Well, I have a deeper appreciation for it and for what a lot of your friends do, for sure. Right? I certainly appreciate the effort. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought you set it up and took one or 3, 4 shots, picked your favorite. No, it's dozens and dozens of shots, and changing the angle and tweaking a little thing and changing this. It reminded me it almost looked like you were making a stop action claymation, where they move a thing and they take a shot.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that a little bit.
It's a lot of minutia for sure. It really is just. I mean, like I said, you know what? The forefathers that have come before us, many of them started the train collections, Mike, because they wanted to have some little part of the world that they can control. This is my train collection, like this is me, posing to the minutia of exactly how I want something to look. Which again, everybody in the state of the world, we don't get that very often. So.
Yeah, right now the Blitzfig says about 40 plus shots, so that's a lot. Yeah. Especially when you're doing movements in between each one. So I think the thing I learned most is just how much time goes into each shot.
Right.
And the reason why people like you don't have 10 shots a day, right? Because I look behind you, you got so many figures. I think, why does this guy have 10 different, pictures a day? Because it takes good couple hours for you to get something that, a piece of art that people will appreciate.
Well, it's nice that you're able to see that. That's very cool. That actually means a lot, that like it's not just because I'm sure people have it took me initially too a while to get over, even shooting a picture in my front yard, and now I'm like, no, I'm a toy photographer. This is a really cool thing that I and a lot of people do, and I just want more people to know that it exists. It's a thing you can do. It's really awesome. And that's hold on real quick, Mike. I didn't mean to cut you off. Benny just said, so Blitzfigs, the more figures you have, the harder it is to decide what kind of photo you want to take. Dude, that's why we have the challenges. That's why we come up with the hashtags, because I will come down and just stare. And I go, what am I don't know. I literally would just, that's it. I'm just standing here for a good 5-10 minutes. Like, what am I doing?
So what you're saying is the more toys you buy, the more figures you buy, the bigger your hobby becomes?
Well, yes and no. So when I buy new toys, that inspires me to shoot them. It makes me come up with, because I'm excited about opening it, and all of a sudden my imagination sparks and I start coming up with potential matchups and poses and setups, as opposed to when they're out. It is. I mean, come on. It's to some extent. I think we can all be self-aware enough to admit some addiction to like the thrill of opening a new toy. Like I think, like I feel like you kind of have to be in this, right? Like I said, you have to. We have to kind of own it. Everybody is a little bit of hoardish, a little addiction aspect, but you
But
manage
you know
it.
what? I
You
think
live in the
even people
middle.
that, not even toys, right? I think we especially during the pandemic, we developed this, even Amazon, right? I get something on the porch. Now I know what it is because my app tells me I've been tracking it. I know where everything is. But
Right.
there is something primal about opening that box and digging in. So
It's
that's why part of it is why I'm always giving you a bit of a hard time about some of the things you keep in the box. You know, I'm an anti-box guy.
right.
Like get it out
Right.
and play with it.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a collector, so I'm also speaking from an attitude where I don't understand or appreciate the value or the growing value of some of the stuff you have in boxes. So me, I'm like, rip it open, get it out there.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like it is that balancing act. It is a little bit of a stock markety. There's a little element of gambling with any of this stuff, because I do have a hope, like fingers crossed type of hope, that when I hand this stuff to my kids, they'll have grown up with like a collector's mentality and like appreciate the stuff and like know how to move it on and maximize like what you can get for it. That's what I'm hoping. I mean, like they're gonna grow up with me, so they're gonna hopefully develop an appreciation for all of this stuff. So, but we'll see. Either that, or they just rebel against everything. I don't know. They're little people.
We got two of them. There's a good chance one of them likes it, right?
Yep. So Mike, I'm gonna start
Yeah.
wrapping things up. So I'm gonna say that officially and thank everyone for joining us tonight. As we wind down, I'm gonna throw this out there too. So like I said, Tuesday, I'm almost positive Tuesday, might be Monday, but probably Tuesday, my Toy Fathers thing, Toy Daddies, we're going to do a focus on figure arts, so be there. And then this is just an idea, so I don't know if Thor is in here, or I know Green Geek was in before, or Path and Tuscan. Um, it doesn't have to be weekly, but I'm just going to put this out that I would love with those guys. Those are the people that I do Who Gets Pooled and the Variant Loki Wednesdays. Like maybe like we hop on and do a live midweek and we talk about some of the pictures that people submitted. I don't know. Just something, Mike. I was just something to think about. Just trying to promote other people's work. Get everything out there. Rising
I'd
tide,
like to
baby.
see, if you're taking suggestions, I would love to see an episode one time. Maybe this is just again coming from me, the layman. I would love to see kind of a half of a show about how you set up. Just maybe following the camera around, looking at some of your sets, and how just learning how you configure them and take a couple shots, and then maybe later on we could see how it turns out.
I'm down for that. Like I do
Kind of like a choose your own adventure. People in
Yeah.
the chat give you some ideas. I think that'd be fun.
Well, I told you. I mean, like I like to have this Sunday night be like an official show where we have focal talking points, and we got. But I'm definitely open to. I've thought about it. I finally cleaned out my basement a little bit more, and I have like a cool little like diorama print desk set up, and I have my diet. So like I thought about it. It's getting there. It's getting there, Mike. I'd be down. I would be down for something like that. That'd be cool. Go through the process. Actually, and I should actually throw this out there too and give him props. But Toy Talk Josh Cox Create, he does a show through the Toy Talk account, open to awesome, and he sets it up. He goes live and has a new toy, and he takes it out and does like more of a simpler setup. But he did one today earlier with the Moss Man, Masters of the Universe. So it is a cool idea. It is I'm with you, Mike. For me, it would be more of my like bigger, like it would be a bigger idea, bigger setup. So we'll see. I also am nervous about doing stuff like that because when I'm in the posing zone, I get in the zone and I get frustrated. I wouldn't be entertaining to listen to, if that makes sense. Like I get very like singularly focused. So that's my only worry. All right, so yeah, so I have to talk to those guys in the next couple days. Hopefully we can do something like that. Like I said, and every maybe every other week. And my last little thing, one final toy photography tip from Yimbo. So this is from not Bucky. See that gun? Check that gun out.
Are you gonna tell them where we got it?
Oh heck yeah, man! And I'm actually gonna give credit. I'm gonna give like assist credit because I can't remember the exact person that I heard it from. So I saw Skydro Walker was in here before. So maybe Skydro Walker can help. It's one of his friends. I was in their live stream a couple weeks ago or a month ago, and they were talking about in Dollar Tree, Final Faction Heroes. And he might tell me, they can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I read off of the receipt. So at the Dollar Tree, they have little like G.I. Joe sized, no-name guys. But look at the gun. So for $1, that is a really, really nice scaled assault rifle. Like that's awesome, right, Mike? I was showing you these
the shotgun. I love the shotgun. Show them the shotty.
Oh yeah, here's the shotgun. So for $1, I gave the three action figures to my nephew Mikey, to his son, to Mike's son. But there's the shotgun. Look at that. Those are way too big for those like little G.I. Joe size guys. This one is the only one that I could see you saying, here, look, it fits in the hands. There's the trigger, so you know I'm not messing with you. Look, it scales. It's just obviously it's on the looser end a little bit, just because it's not a Legends thing. But anyway, you can get that to work. This one looked a little weird. I'm not exactly sure what that was supposed to be, but it'll be used. But that one,
grenade launcher? It looks like a
maybe like maybe
rounds.
a little grenade launcher. Yeah. And then that shotgun. Look at the shotgun on the aim guy. Look, that's legit. That's a 6-inch scale, everybody. That's not 3.75. So again, Skydro Walker, exactly. Op, so Op not 7.5. More guns for the Punisher. Exactly. So whenever I go to a Dollar Tree now, which is not often, but if I see them, I'm gonna go see which guys are there because I can't tell $1. And there have been so many cool Instagram people that like 3D print. And I've almost bought like armories from people, of like different styles. So $3, I got 3 guns. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, everybody. I'm throwing them in the tackle box. Oh, Benny just got Bucky today. Good for you. Yeah, man. Grab it. Go check them out, man. I'm telling you, go to Dollar Tree. And I think it was Dollar Tree, not Dollar General. It has to be Dollar Tree. Because that's what I was, right? That's the one we were at.
That's the one, yep.
Yeah. Blitz, yeah, he involves his sons in setting up for photos. Dude, that's what I can't wait. My kids are 2. When I get to play, Mike, whenever I post pictures, when I say my niece, like I have two older nieces, but that's my oldest niece is Melly, and she's the first of my nieces that wanted to like, what are you doing? You're taking pictures? Like, tell me more. Like I'm teaching her every time I hang out, like something new, a little tidbit about photography or discussing the toys and then my other niece, Frida, will come up to me and she'll be like, hey, Uncle Jimmy, I saw this, like, Mimi has this thing that if we put a toy in front of it, it looks like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes. Getting them, setting up the next generation.
You're doing a great job with that, Jimmy. It's the kids love it. Taking pictures of toys, it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? How can you not smile doing it? So I'm glad you had me on again.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate bearing with my my lack of knowledge in some areas, but it's always fun, hearing more about what you're doing, and obviously, playing with the kids is great.
Yeah, man.
Toys are meant for kids, right?
Dude, that's what it's all about. That's like, at the end of the day, these are made for children. As much as I like to consider myself one.
Well, I told you I'm 30-16, so
yeah,
you're still a child.
All right. I think that's going to be it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Yimbo Buys Everything. This was episode 7. That is my brother-in-law, Mike. And thank you all for coming. And I look forward to posting many more toy pictures. So thank you guys very much. Mike, I appreciate it, my dude. Maybe we'll play some Call of Duty in a few minutes. All right. All right, guys. I'll see you later, everybody.